Hey guys, my name is Rich Edwards. Welcome to another How I Made It. Today we're going to go through my track Ego, which was recently released on Hardwell's label Gemstone. A lot of you guys have shown a lot of love for the track and I'm really appreciative of that. If you still haven't streamed the track, I'm going to put the link to it down in the description. So today I'm going to show you the track piece by piece. We'll start off with the instrumental first and then we'll jump over and check out the vocal. But yeah, enough talking. Let's get into it. So before we start, I'm going to have to apologize in advance because a lot of these sounds have been rendered or bounced into audio files. So I'm not going to be able to show you the presets or a lot of the plugins that I'm using. So if you guys want to see a specific sound or more of a specific sound, please comment below and I'll make an extra video for you guys. So the first part of the track is basically these two instruments. It's a pad, it's a guitar, and it's a crystal effect. Let's jump into it. It sounds like this. So this first sound is a silent. It is a saw wave, a bit detuned with a bit of filtering on it and a bit of reverb. On its own, it sounds like this. Nothing special. A bit boring. On top of that, we have this sound, which is a bit more exciting. This sound is a piano, which plays the root notes, which is A in this case. I have then looped it and then I'm running it through the guitar rig with a preset called Crystal or Crystallizer. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it makes really cool effects and it just made this atmospheric masterpiece, basically. Those are the only two sounds to start the track off. In the second part, we have a bass that comes in and it sounds like this. I've been using this bass a lot recently and for the past couple of years. I really love how it makes the whole track sound a lot wider and it's really, really, really warm. So it's basically a saw with a bit of distortion, filtering, and it's been detuned a lot. So that is what makes it go from side to side, basically. On top of this part, we have a guitar that comes in and it sounds like this. So that is me playing the guitar. Of course, not in one take because I'm not that good, even though I should be able to play this. So I've played it a couple of times and then I picked out the notes that I like the most and then I've just basically looped it together and put a bunch of reverb and some distortion. Then we come to the build-up and it's a pretty slow build-up until the second half. It's a clap, which is your average clap. It sounds like this. This clap builds and builds throughout. And then here comes another loop. Just before the drop hits, there's some risers and effects, and they sound like this. That howling noise is one of my good friends, Yuan, from the band Botox. If you haven't checked them out, please go and do that. That's pretty much it for the first breakdown. Not a lot going on. It's very focused around the vocal. It's the same in the second breakdown and in the third middle eight. The only difference that in the second breakdown, there's a bit more drums, which I'm going to show you right now. So in the second breakdown, we have a kick, a percussion clap, and some hi-hats, which is the only changes to the breakdown. And they sound like this. Which then turns into this. and then a bit of a percussion fill there in the middle. Not a lot going on, and then you have the individual parts that I showed you in the first breakdown. That's pretty much it for the breakdowns. So let's not waste any more time and jump straight into the drops. So here we have the drop. Let's start with the drums. So the kick isn't all that different from the breakdown. The only difference is that the tail, the low end tail, is a bit longer. The snare is what really stands out between the breakdown and the drop. And the snare sounds like this. That is a combined sound. So it's first this clap and this snare. Now on top of that, we have a percussion hit with a lot of reverb on it, which really makes this clap stand out, or clap and snare really stand out, and it just makes it huge. It sounds like this. So it's the same sound, only it's on the first one it's an octave higher, on the second one it's an octave lower, and it changes a bit from side to side just to make it more interesting and give it some space. The hi-hats are the same, they only play a different pattern. So the basses, let's jump into that. This is how the basses sound on their own. My project is about to crash right there. So the first part is or the low part, I should say, is an 808, and it sounds like this. And this is just a massive with a sine wave, distorted and filtered. It sounds sort of like a kick, so I've had to sidechain this pretty hard just so the kick really comes through. And this is how it sounds with the sidechain on. So you can hear that the little thump is totally gone. Without the sidechain, and that little difference makes the kick just punch through. On top of that, we have this stereo bass, which sounds like this. Now this is a version of the first bass in the breakdown, only that the filter is all the way up. So this is what it should sound like if you don't have a filter on it. So now we've come to the main parts, and they sound like this. So there's a lot going on there, so we'll break it down piece for piece. Let's start with the chords. The chords are made up out of 3 layers. Unfortunately, these are in audio, but they are 3 serum presets. Yeah, 1 for the low end, 1 for the mid, and 1 for the high. Together, they sound like this. On top of that, we have some strings. They sound like this. They just follow the chords an octave higher just to make things interesting. They don't really stand out that much in the track, but they do their job. Under all of this, we have a brass hit for every chord, and it sounds like this. So that's a basic cashmere brass, I think it is, even. And before that, I've taken the same sample, reversed it, and then just taken the first part of the tail. So it makes a bit of a swoosh into the brass hit. On top of all this, we have a piano. Sounds like this. It's not the prettiest sounding piano in the world, but it does its job and it makes the track feel a bit more acoustic. Let's get to the leads. Now, the leads are a vocal chop that was a part of the harmonies for the background vocals from the start. I heard this and I thought this would make a great lead line. So I basically just took that lead line of the vocal, ran it through auto-tune with a bit of formatting back and forth, bounced it, did it once again, then bounced it again, and then put some distortion and some reverb on it. And it sounds like this. Yeah, so pretty much that's it for the drop. There's not much else going on, to be honest. There's a bit of effects going on, sweeps and swooshes, whatever you can find in your sample packs. Not all that interesting if you ask me. So let's jump into the vocal and listen to that. So I got this vocal from Victoria, and they had already processed it pretty hard, so I really didn't have to do anything with all the reverbs and delay. I might have added a delay here and there just to make some more atmospheric and make it fit in, but other than that, it's just a bit of volume basically, just to make it fit.
Say, said I've been getting closer, 'cause time's been moving.
I didn't do too much more than that. That is pretty much what I got, and she absolutely killed it and really makes this track. So yeah, that was Ego. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of How I Made It, Ego edition. As I said in the beginning of the video, if you guys want to see a sound, a specific sound that I couldn't show you today, please leave it in the comments and I'll take the most popular sound and I'll make a quick tutorial on how to make it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe down there, leave a thumbs up, and maybe just say hi in the comments. I don't know. I would appreciate that. So yeah, until next time, take care.